Hello everyone. This video is for second assignment, overlapping block transfer and non-overlapping block transfer, and we will discuss two things. Other than that, block transfer with string and without a string, and non-overlapping block transfer with string and without a string. So we will discuss the code block transfer with string and without a string in overlapping and in non-overlapping. So here you can see print before message, comma before message length. We discuss macro syntax in first assignment. So the macro syntax, data section, BSS section, text section and display section. So these things same in every assignment like first assignment. So we will not discuss this thing again and again. Macro, everyone knows what is the syntax of macro. Macro syntax is %macro space macro name. Then number of parameter, then instruction is move rx comma system call. Whatever operation you want to perform, like printing a message on the output screen, reading the input from the keyboard. So if you want to print output on the output screen, in that case you will pass one system call in rx register and one system call again in RDA register. In RSA register you will pass address of the message, and in RDX register you will pass the length of the message. So this, and after that percent syscall and macro. Syscall then percent and macro. So this is the syntax for macro. So again we will discuss what is the syntax for macro. Percent macro name space number of parameter. How many number of parameter you want to pass in the instruction, that parameter you will pass in the definition of the macro. Then move rx comma system call, rda comma system call, rsa comma address of the message, and rdx comma message length. So if you want to pass the message length in the rdx register, that message that you want to print on the output screen. Then syscall, that invoke the processor to execute the instructions, and after that and macro name. So this is the syntax for macro. So this thing is basically same for every assignment, so that's why we will not discuss in every assignment. First in first assignment, for the revision and for any query, you can see the first assignment where we have discussed this thing in detail. Macro name. Then data section. In data section basically we define initialized variable. In BSS section we define uninitialized variable. Those variable we wanted to use in our program. For that variable we reserve memory. So these variable basically we will put into BSS section, and display section we have discussed. So display section also same for every assignment. So you can refer the first assignment for that section. Now we will discuss the main code for second assignment. Here you can see first line print before message comma before message length. So print is your macro name because you want to print that message on your output screen. Before message is the address of the message that you want to print on output screen, and message length. Then because you have passed two parameter in your macro, that's why you are passing two variable and variable length in macro section. So print is your macro name because you want to print that message on your output screen. Before message is the address of the variable that you want to print that message on your output screen. So this is the address of your message and message length. Then next line print source message comma source message length. Here you want to print source block on your output screen. So again print is your macro name. Source message is the variable, address of your message, address of your array that you want to print on output screen, and length of your array. Then move rsa comma source block. Here this is the variable name. Source block is the variable name that pass the address into RSA register. So source block address you are passing into RSA register. RSA is your source index register. Then call display block. So here you are calling display procedure to display the source block on your output screen. Then next line you can see here print destination message comma destination message length. Here this is print again is a macro name. Destination message DST MSD, it is a variable name that contains the address of the array, and destination message length. In the starting before block transfer, your source block is same, and destination block you assign by the 0. So destination block you will print here by using this instruction. Then move RSA comma destination block. Destination block is the variable name that contain the address and you are passing into RSA register. Then call display procedure. Here you are calling display procedure to display your destination block. Then call BT number. BT number means block transfer. So here you are calling a block transfer procedure that we will discuss later in this code. Now print after message comma after message length. Then when you performing a block transfer procedure, after that you will print after message or after message length. Means here you are not to print whatever content you will transfer from source block to destination block, you will transfer on the output screen. Then print source message and source message length. Again you will print source message. Then move RSA comma source block. Source block address you will transfer into RSA register for display and calling display procedure for display content of the source block. Then print destination message and destination message length. So this is the variable that contain the address and destination message length that contain the length of your message. So by using a macro, print is the macro name. So by using that macro you will print the destination block on your output screen and you will pass move RSA comma destination block. So here you will passing the destination block address into RSA register and calling display procedure for display your message. Here block transfer for procedure you can see here block transfer non-overlapping. So first we have to understand what is overlapping and what is non-overlapping. So whenever your source in a overlapping block transfer you have a two different space, source block and destination block. So you will put the data from that source block and put in the destination block. Means you have a two different location for transferring the data in a non-overlapping block transfer. And with string and without string you can see in the code. But first we have to understand what is overlapping and what is non-overlapping. In a non-overlapping block transfer we have two different block. Source block is a different location and destination block is different location. So we will pick data from source block and put into the destination block. So one by one we will pick data from the source block and put into the destination block. That depend on your RSA count. Means whatever count you will initialize in your program, according to that your block transfer will happen. In a overlapping block transfer, basically you have same location for source block and destination block. So in that case you will pick data from the same location and you will put data at the same location, but it different on the you can different the position of your block. Means source block and destination block is same. For example, if you have the length of array is 5, but in that case your source block you can start from 0 location and destination block you can start from first, second, third, means it depends on you. Then in that case you can choose any position in your source block or in your destination block for block transferring. But in a overlapping block transfer you have a same location for source block and destination block. But in non-overlapping block transfer you have two different locations. Source block is different and destination block is different. Now we will discuss the code. You can see here the code. Move RSA comma source block. Here you are passing source block address into RSA register and move RDA comma destination block and you are passing destination block address into RDA register. Then you will initialize the count register. Means whatever number you wanted to transfer from source block to destination block, that count you will initialize into R6 register, means counter register. And this procedure you will repeat again and again until your counter is not become 0. Then move AL comma bracket RSI. So in here you can see here this RSI and this RSI. So both things are different. This RSI basically a register and this represent a memory location. So this represent the first number because RSI and destination block. So source block address you will transfer into RSA register and destination block address you will transfer into RDA register. So basically they point the starting position of the source block and destination block. Here bracket RSA represent the first number on the array. So this number basically you transfer into AL register and from AL register to RTI register. So here you are transferring data from RSA register to accumulator register and accumulator register to RDA register. Then you will increment the count of RSI and RDA for pointing the next number and you will repeat this procedure again and again until your counter will become not 0. So this is the non-overlapping block transfer because you have two different locations. Source block is different and destination block is different. You will initialize the count, then from the RSA register you will transfer the data into AL register and from AL register to RDA register. So like that, this is the without string block transfer because in a without string block transfer you will use accumulator register. So this is the main concept of without string block transfer, and this is the concept for non-overlapping. So in a non-overlapping, here you are using two different locations, and for without string block transfer you are using a accumulator register. Then you will increment the count of RSI RDI for pointing to the next location. Then you will repeat this procedure until your counter will not become 0. So this is the code for non-overlapping block transfer without string. Now this is the second code for non-overlapping block transfer with string. So in a with string, this instruction will be same, move RSA comma source block, because in a non-overlapping block transfer you have two different locations, source block and destination block. So starting address of the source block you will transfer into RSA register, and destination block starting address you will transfer into RDI register. Then you will initialize the counter with the number, means how many number you wanted to transfer from source block to destination block. According to that you will initialize your counter variable. Then clear direction flag. Here you are using a clear direction flag rather than you are using a increment RSI or increment RDI, because here you are manually increasing your RSI or RDI register, but in a with string block transfer you are using a clear direction flag. By using a clear direction flag, automatically it will increment the RSI or RDI register. This flag bit basically reside into the E flag register. We have discussed into E flag register. So clear direction flag basically manually increasing your RSI and RDI register value. Then you can see here move SV, repeat move SV. So repeat basically we are using for counting purpose. Unless your counter become not 0, you will repeat this procedure again and again. And move SV. So this is the with string block transfer instruction. Here your block content source block to destination block automatically transfer by using this instruction. Move SV instruction basically we are using for the with string block transfer instruction. Then return for the successful return of the procedure. So here this is the difference between non-overlapping without a string and non-overlapping with a string. So you can see here source block starting address you will move into RSA register, destination block starting address you will move into RDI register. Then counter you will initialize according to your intention, means how many variable, how many data you wanted to transfer from source block to destination block. Then from the location, from the memory location you will transfer the data into accumulator register, and from accumulator register to transfer the data into RDI register, and increment RSI in RDI register manually. Then repeat the procedure until your counter will not become 0. So this is the non-overlapping block transfer without a string. In the second code we will discuss the block transfer with string. In a with string block transfer you will use clear direction flag that automatically increase the RSA or RDI register. Repeat instruction we are using for the counting purpose. Unless your counting will not become 0, you will perform the procedure again and again. And move SV instruction we are using for the with string block transfer. Here by using a move SV instruction your data automatically transfer from source block to destination block. So this is code for the non-overlapping without a string, and this code for the non-overlapping with string instruction. Next code we will discuss into next lecture. Thank you.